teach you how to work on the camera.
I'm that dark spot you'll live right
Let us pray. Creator God, we call upon you to be present among us today as you have been present in the lives of these graduates from the very beginning. You have equipped these men and women with the tools for living their lives in honor of you. We give you thanks for the gifts that you have given them, their talents, their creativity, and their courage, their commitment, their self-discipline, and their fulfillment. Please guide them in the days ahead as they go in new directions, and keep them ever in your protective care. Set their course now while they still have idealism and enthusiasm about the future. Help them to use their gifts to become a sign of hope that you are truly at work through them in the world. We pray in the name of the triune God. Amen.
Seated. Good afternoon. My name is Charles Anderson, and as president of Augsburg College, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this commencement service, which is an event which many of you have been looking forward to for years, sometimes with joy, sometimes with question marks, I'm sure, but here we are. Those of us on the faculty and staff are very proud of these men and women who have completed what we like to emphasize is just one phase of their lifelong learning. And we're very grateful to all of you who have come today and supported the students in that way and in many other ways to make their successes possible. This is the 128th year in the history of Augsburg and the 125th that we've been at this location in the city. Just as with human beings, it is often not simply the number of years, but rather their quality that is the more important measure. And our goal is not simply to become older, but better, not simply more venerable, but more valuable to our students, to the church, and the community. Today's class has over 525 candidates for graduation, one of the largest in our school's history. This is a great class and a great day, and you are all welcome. At this time, I have the pleasure of introducing the commencement speaker for today. I think the world assumed that when the Cold War was over, and a part at least of the armed forces of the two great powers, the Soviet Union and the United States, stood down, that there would follow a development of world peace. Yet on the personal, community, national, and international scenes, the scenes of conflict are really magnified, and examples of peace sometimes seem more remote. Our speaker today has spent a whole career in the pursuit of peace as a career officer in the Foreign Service of the United States. After service in the United States Air Force, he joined the Foreign Service in 1961. Prior to service in Africa, he directed programs of assistance to Pakistan and Afghanistan, and served on the team that negotiated the Soviet withdrawal, or the withdrawal of Soviet troops from Afghanistan. From the Asian arena, he moved to Africa, where he served as ambassador to Rwanda. Prior to his retirement in 1994, he worked on policy issues in the Horn of Africa and Rwanda and Burundi. He's retired now, but he is still active in causes that seek to bring people together in amity rather than conflict. For example, we are benefiting greatly from his work in this school, actually. He chairs the executive committee of the Peace Prize Forum. This is an annual event which moves between 5 Norwegian American colleges in the upper Midwest. In conjunction with the Nobel Peace Prize Committee of Norway, this program brings Nobel laureates to engage our communities in the study and the practice of peace. Robert is a close friend of mine and of Augsburg. He will speak on the theme Living Together. Please welcome our friend, Ambassador Robert Flotten.
Thank you, President Anderson. It is said that a diplomat is an honest person who is sent abroad to lie for his country. And in that context, Chuck, I would have to say that was a very diplomatic introduction indeed. I've also been told that no graduate ever remembers what is said in a commencement address or who said it. And that's okay, so long as I know that all of you will always remember Chuck Anderson. You have been enormously privileged to be at Augsburg during his tenure. He's a man of complete integrity, total commitment, enormous courage, always positive, and sometimes funny. When you find yourselves confronted with moral dilemmas, as you will from time to time, I suggest that you ask yourselves, what would Chuck Anderson do in a similar situation? You may not like the answer you give yourself, but it'll probably be right. Living together. This seems a rather simple topic for such a sophisticated audience. It even has a pleasant sound to it, and perhaps for some even a hint of romance. And I invite you to take just a moment to fantasize about with whom you may hope to live together. As long as we are free to decide with whom we choose to live, living together remains a pleasant idea. But let's return to the real world. In the real world, we often have no choice. And in the increasingly shrinking world, it is increasingly difficult to avoid those with whom we might rather not live together. And how do we deal with that? When I presented my credentials to the president of Rwanda as the American ambassador, President Juvenal Habyarimana asked if I would help him to develop democracy in Rwanda. Habyarimana had taken over in a bloodless military coup in 1973, but by 1990, he found that the combination of internal opposition from the Hutu majority and an external attack by a largely Tutsi guerrilla force from the north, and outside pressures, especially from France, demanded a change. There were these three competing groups for whom the idea of living together in a tiny, overpopulated country in Central Africa was a scary and threatening concept. On the basis of their past experience, they really did not want to live together. Nevertheless, I responded with enthusiasm to Habyarimana's request. It had long been American policy to try to promote democracy where possible. It was something I believed in deeply, and it was especially satisfying to have the request come directly from the president of the country. So with the full support of Washington, we began immediately to assist government and opposition leaders to frame a form of democratic institutions compatible with their culture. We worked on a new constitution and a political parties law. We held seminars on the meaning of a free press and on the meaning and the role of a military in a democracy. We sent political leaders and parliamentary staff on study missions to the United States. And we worked with church leaders, both Catholic and Protestant, to support their efforts to overcome the ethnic suspicions. Finally, in cooperation with European and other African leaders, we encouraged and promoted negotiations with the outside rebel group so that they too would be brought into the new political institutions. An agreement was signed in August of 1993, witnessed by representatives from the United Nations, the Organizations of African Unity, the President of Tanzania, and the ambassadors to Rwanda from the United States, France, Belgium, Burundi, and Tanzania. We all hoped that after centuries of ethnic conflict, Rwandans would be able to draw on the experience of older democracies to create the conditions for living together in peace. During the process, I met frequently with the president's staff and with the president himself. At one point, President Habyarimana said to me, "You know, Mr. Ambassador, you Americans are really lucky. You have solved your ethnic problem." I was flabbergasted, speechless. For 30 years in the Foreign Service, I had heard America criticized for our racial problems. And here was a black African president praising us for having solved the problem. In addition, I had personally concluded that with the Cold War behind us, the most serious challenge we faced as Americans was and is the problem of our own internal racial disharmony, the gap between what we profess and how we treat minorities in our own country. So what could President Habyarimana mean by saying the U.S. had solved its ethnic problem? Well, to cover my embarrassment at the moment, I mumbled something about our democratic institutions and how they enable us to continue to work on our problems. And he agreed, and we continued the conversation. But on reflection, I believe he had something more fundamental in mind. He could see that the racial tensions in the United States no longer erupted into the kind of violence which all too often terrorize the people of Rwanda and Burundi. Violence which he knew boiled just under the surface in Rwanda as we spoke. Habyarimana was beginning to understand the types of institutions which enable us to resolve our differences without violence in the legislatures, the Congress, the courts, and in the many private institutions which enable us to work together. His praise of our solution of the ethnic problem was his way of showing to me his support for the democratic changes that we were working on, even as they were creating, these changes were creating for him enormous difficulties within his own Hutu constituency. Writing for the Washington Post recently, syndicated columnist William Raspberry offered a similar insight about the United States. He described the distinction between discrimination and racism. He noted progress in the U.S. in outlawing discrimination, somewhat along the lines of Habyarimana's statement. But he went on to deplore the racism which still exists behind it. Well, we left Rwanda in November of 1993, hopeful that the agreement reached in August would lead to a new era of peace and reconciliation. On April 6th of 1994, a shoulder-held surface-to-air missile struck Habyarimana's aircraft as it approached the runway in Kigali. The president and all aboard were killed. A photo from the French magazine Jeune Afrique will always be with me. It showed the body of a personal friend of ours, the president's private personal physician, his body slammed against the right side of Mrs. Habyarimana's car, obviously thrown from the aircraft, when in the cruelest irony, the plane crashed in the backyard of the president's residence at the very moment when Mrs. Habyarimana and her daughter were preparing dinner for the returning president. The assassination of President Habyarimana triggered the gruesome ethnic violence which you've all seen in television and newspapers, and which the president must have feared when he spoke with me about Rwanda's ethnic problem. At least 500,000 persons were massacred in the next few weeks. And the killing continues, not only in Rwanda and Burundi, but in the Congo, where the same ethnic hatreds play a role in the latest Central African crisis. Persons we knew as friends are either dead or in exile, some suspected of the international crime of genocide. President Habyarimana saw that the institutions which Americans have created over time work for us, and he hoped to create similar institutions in his country. But he knew something else was going on. In a sense, it was a race to develop trusted institutions before the underlying animosities overwhelmed the country. And he lost. Raspberry wrote of a legal and institutional reduction in discrimination in this country, but a continuation of racism. There is a distinction, he wrote, between behavior and thought, between discrimination and racism. Not liking people because of their color or ethnic background is wrong only in a moral sense that is beyond the reach of government, he concluded. So when Habyarimana asked for our help in creating democracy, I joked that we Americans have a lot of experience on it. We've been working on it for 200 years and we haven't perfected it yet. But I should have added that government institutions alone cannot solve the problem. They can help, and they can offer means for solving the problem if people want to solve it. But the deeper problem is in the hearts and the souls of the people. We like to think of America as a place of equal opportunity, and it is for many of us, amazingly so for ethnic Norwegians. Why, we've even learned how to live together with ethnic Swedes. And we have learned from our families and from outstanding colleges like Augsburg that the key to living together is the respect for the other person, for his or her beliefs, ideas, appearance, differences, handicaps, and even weaknesses. This is the meaning of the Christian command to love our neighbor. But from this perspective, we know there is still a lot of work to do, not only in perfecting our institutions and our laws, but more importantly, within our hearts and minds. We all know this, but we need to be reminded from time to time. And the Rwandan tragedy, for me, was a devastatingly powerful reminder of how far we still have to go in developing our real ability to live together. You all, at least those in the expensive seats down here, you have completed an important stage in your education. In this stage, you have benefited from the unique combination of heart and mind, which is the contribution of the Christian Liberal Arts College. You know in your souls that technical solutions and laws and institutions, as important as they are not enough. Not every college graduate has had this experience. So with the unique insights you have gained, you can make a difference. You have an important role to play in helping our country overcome not only the overt discrimination which continues to exist, but also the more insidious sickness of racism. And if you're lucky, you may also have a chance, an opportunity to help others, such as the Hutus and Tutsis of Rwanda, the troubled people of Bosnia, and the Arabs and Israelis, to help them to develop the institutions and the spiritual strength to live together in peace.
We thank you, Mr. Ambassador. We're grateful to God for the gifts that He has given to you and how you have used them to serve your country in the search for justice and peace. And we're grateful that you have shared yourself and some of your insights about a part of the world that most of us know very little about. We hear about Zaire right now, and Mr. Mobutu is gone, but the question is the replacement better than he? And the tribes to which he referred, the Tutu and what's it called? And Hutsi? No, those two tribes. Tutsi and Hutu are in difficulty also as they face each other in Rwanda and Burundi. But the point of this, I think, was how much, what a hook it was when the president asked Bob, how to solve their problems of racism and discrimination, and how helpful it was to see what we have to do still in addressing those issues. We turn to the hymn. Let's stand for that, because otherwise you'll be seeing for hours yet then.
To
It's customary at these gatherings to allow representatives of the various classes to have a final word, good or bad. And they're waiting here. I'll read their names and they can come forward in this order. Lori Sebastian, representing the graduate students, Tara Ciceretti, Weekday College, and Rebecca Sorensen. I want to insert, I have a handkerchief here and I'm always wiping my eyes. This is not a commentary on the quality of this class. I want to assure you. They are in fact an outstanding class, and we're sorry to see them go in one sense, but proud of their accomplishments. I'm just taking a medicine that affects my eyes badly, and they can water at any moment, so just don't be bothered, and you're all right, you people.
Good afternoon. A few years ago, when I started the master's program at Augsburg, I had a picture in my mind of a box. The lid was off the top, but I don't remember anything being in the box. It was empty. The image of that box came back to my mind just a few months ago as I was finishing my last class. However, there was something different about the box. The lid was still off, but this time I could not see the box empty. It was filled with all kinds of fun, colorful, curly ribbons and confetti that were popping out of the box and flowing down the sides. It brought a smile to my face and my heart. While thinking about that image and what it meant, I immediately realized that it was a metaphor for my experience at Augsburg. All those bright, shiny ribbons were experiences and learnings and growth that are now a part of who I am. I don't believe this image is unique for me. I am speaking for all of us in the graduate program. We selected Augsburg for its unique programs and environment. We've all had similar experiences and opportunities for growth. I was especially blessed by the Christian environment and the opportunity I had to explore my spirituality. Because when it gets right down to it, that's what's important in life. Augsburg provided the environment for us to deal with life-changing issues. Speaking on behalf of the graduate students, we want to thank President Anderson for his leadership in providing the unique graduate programs. We also want to thank the faculty for being the catalyst for expanding our boundaries. Thanks also to all of you in the audience who have supported us through all of our studying. Let's go back to the image of the box. This is a day of celebration, and there's only one more thing I want to say. Let's have a party!
Before I begin my speech, I would like to make a special presentation. As many of you already know, our president, Charles Anderson, will be retiring this fall after 21 years of service at Augsburg College. Since he will be leaving Augsburg during the year of our graduation, we thought it would be appropriate to make him part of our graduating class. I petitioned the Board of Regents to allow us to do this, but they had a few concerns about his eligibility for graduation. The Regents sent me to the registrar's office and the business office for verification, which, as many of you seniors know, is not always an easy task. When I arrived at the registrar's office, I was informed that as a 17th year senior, President Anderson still had not fulfilled all the liberal arts perspectives required of graduation. In particular, he was missing a lifetime sport credit. I then went to the business office and discovered that he has not paid 48 parking tickets received in the residence hall lot. Rumor has it that he and his wife, Kate, amassed those tickets during a wild spree of late-night partying in Mortensen Hall in the early 80s. So up until yesterday, I was not sure if we were going to be able to let President Anderson graduate with us. Fortunately, I received word this morning that the registrar has agreed to waive his lifetime sport requirement in light of his regular attendance at Augsburg athletic events and at the tremendous amount of iron he's pumped in the weight room. And we were able to collect funds to cover the parking tickets through donation cans secretly placed outside of his retirement party. His account in the business office is now clear, so I'm pleased to announce that he is now eligible for graduation. At this time, I would like to invite President Anderson to come forward and become an honorary member of our class. President Anderson, on behalf of the senior class, I award you honorary membership in the Augsburg College class of '97. We thank you for your contributions to Augsburg and are proud to graduate with you. It's about time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Very nice. Congratulations. Thank you. I had hoped this was going to happen, and I did check a little bit informally at the past history. There have been some presidents who have served longer than I, but to my knowledge, none of them have been brought into a class like this, which is an honor on the one hand, but on the other hand, I think I qualify for, she alluded to this, the slowest learner degree. It's taken 21 years to get this piece of paper. It's amazing. Thank you very much.
Some people say it's not who you are, but who you know. But in the next minute or two, I would like to suggest what I consider to be a more appropriate interpretation. Some of us began our academic career at Augsburg 4 years ago. Other of us transferred here maybe 2 years ago, and other of us even started 21 years ago. We all arrived at Augsburg knowing less than a few people, but we were all provided the opportunity to meet people and expand who we know. One of the first groups of people we met at Augsburg is the administration, faculty, and staff. Through the years, these people have shared with us their knowledge and experiences. They have helped us select majors and career paths through their words and by example. Augsburg also provided us the opportunity to meet people in our Minneapolis community. Whether it was through our volunteer experience during freshman orientation or community service projects held throughout the year, through these people, we have experienced city living and what it means to serve the community. Lastly, we met our classmates. Our class possesses a wide range of backgrounds. Not only are we from small cities and large cities, but we also arrived from countries throughout the world. We have different hobbies, interests, and goals for the future. These people have become our roommates and they have become our friends. We have learned from each other, we have been challenged by each other, and we are proud of each other's accomplishments. Getting to know all these people helped us to learn about ourselves. It is clear that these people have shaped who we are. So, as we leave Augsburg College, it will be difficult to forget the people we have met here, because they have become a part of us. Who we are is who we know. Congratulations and good luck, Augsburg College class of '97. It was a pleasure knowing all of you.
Good afternoon. As Wheaton College students, we approach graduation with a unique perspective. Unlike what the word commencement signifies, this is not exactly a beginning for us. We came to Augsburg already trailing life experiences behind us like a kite tail, from changing diapers to changing careers to even making the change from parent to grandparent. Nor can this day be accurately called the end of our Augsburg experience because the memories, the disciplines we've learned, and the friendships we've made will tie us to Augsburg throughout our lifetime. Rather, our presence here today is a stop on a journey that began when we were children, from the struggle to discover our own individuality to the recognition of our life path that we can't ignore. Today is a very special milestone in that journey. It's a public recognition of the hard work that we have done to meet the goals we've set for ourselves thus far. It's also a chance to say thank you to those who have helped tie our kite with vivid colors that could only help us fly higher and shine more brilliantly. A special thank you to retiring President Dr. Charles S. Anderson. It was his foresight and commitment to meeting the needs of all students that made it possible for us non-traditional graduates to be here today. Augsburg students, faculty, and staff will lose a friend when President Anderson retires, but we can take solace in the words of Walter Lippmann. The final test of a leader is that he leaves behind him the conviction and the will to carry on. Thanks to his example, the Augsburg Weekend College program will carry on to the betterment of countless weekend college students yet to come. To our professors, thank you so much. You stood as mediators between our outstretched hand and our dream. In essence, you held onto our kite string and let us soar as high as we dared to go. Khalil Gibran wrote of educators, "If he is indeed wise, he does not bid you enter the house of his wisdom, but rather leads you to the threshold of your own mind." In this respect, we hold you in high regard. You never let us take the easy way out. While you understood and sympathized with how difficult it was to manage home, family, job, and school, you remain resolved in your expectation of us. As a result, you were able to pull more from inside us than we knew existed, and we're stronger because of it. And a heartfelt thank you to our mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, children, and friends who have stood by us during crabby pre-test studying, who have tried to understand that research papers sometimes had to come before ball games, parties, and anniversaries. Thank you for doing more than your share, for giving more than you got, and for always being there. We couldn't have done it without you, and we hope you're as proud of us today as we are of you. Fellow graduates, as we leave Augsburg today, we'll be trailing a few more ties on our kite string than we did a few years ago. We'll be taking some failures, some hard-won triumphs, perhaps even some moments of brilliance. But most importantly, we'll be taking with us the conviction that we have something important to say and a clear view of the life path that's our own. It's these added ties that will keep us stable and secure, and it's these ties that will be reminders to us of where we've been and who shared our journey with us. In closing, B.F. Skinner once said that education is what survives when what has been learned has been forgotten. We leave today with more than just knowledge. We leave with the gift of learning, the insight and the passion to continue seeing the extraordinary in ordinary things. Although we've reached a goal today, we can't stop. We have to continue onward and upward. As Ursula K. Le Guin wrote, "It's good to have an end to journey toward, but it's the journey that matters in the end." Thank you, Augsburg, for making this part of our journey so challenging and rewarding. We'll never forget you. Thank you.
I'm Marie McNeff, the Academic Dean, Chairperson Gage, President Anderson, members of the Board of Regents, faculty, and faculty emeriti, distinguished guests, members of the Augsburg community, alumni, students, family, and friends. On behalf of the faculty at Augsburg College, upon whose recommendation these degrees are granted, and in their name, it is my privilege to present the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts in Leadership, Masters of Educational Leadership, Masters in Social Work, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Science. Mr. President, in this 128th year of Augsburg College, I present the class of 1997.
By virtue of the authority entrusted me by the faculty and Board of Regents of Augsburg College, and upon nomination of the faculty, I now confer upon you who have completed the requirements, the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Music, or Bachelor of Science, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. The candidates completing work for their degrees in August or December will likewise come forward with the others when we have the Grand March here. And I say also now to the persons with master's degree by virtue of the authority vested in me by the faculty and Board of Regents and upon nomination by the faculty, I now confer upon you who have completed these requirements the degrees of Master of Arts in Education, Leadership, Master of Leadership, and Master of Social Work. As these degrees are evidence of your successful completion of a college curriculum and/or an advanced curriculum, may they always serve as reminder that in life the highest aim is truth. Please be seated. You'll come forward as directed by the marshals. Dean Marie McNeff will announce the names of the members of the class as they come to the platform. That was one job I was glad to get rid of when I stopped being a dean, because people sometimes shudder when they hear their name pronounced by a Scandinavian and they happen to be from Burundi or someplace. I will be assisted by Barbara Gage, who is the chairperson of the Board of Regents, and we will be assisted by Norman Noonan in the leadership program and Clarice Staff in the social work program, and Jay Finney, the associate registrar, thank you. Now, I've been making this request for at least 12 years. I've been, I think, in various forms, and it's a request to the class or to the group out here that is more often honored in its breach than its observance, I just tell you. But I request that applause or other exclamations be held until the class is recognized. Now, that's not a firm rule. This is a gospel school, not a law school. And occasionally, some special event will trigger a comment. A few years ago, we had one weekend college person come across here, and from somewhere up there, a crowd yelled, "Yay, Grandma." That's worth a little, little something special. But as far as possible, your expressions of approval and satisfaction, or perhaps relief and disbelief, are welcome. But we will hear all the names better if we can, in general, hold our applause to the end, as far as possible. That's about as definite as I can be. We will proceed with the awarding.
Stephanie Ann Anderson. Buffy A. Blessy. Teresa A. Cook. John T. Hansen. Suzanne D. Lambert. Lisa Larson. Thomas A. Larson. T. H. Wee. Julie K. Philbrook. Annette E. Rodriguez. Lorraine M. Schleddy. Lori K. Sebastian. Robin Sanderson Spicer. Vivian L. Tannehill. Masters in Educational Leadership, Sally A. Keith. Margaret Moore. And now, Masters in Social Work. Dr. Clarice Staff will be assisting in placing the hood on each candidate. Sherry L. Arnett. Lori Hay Boris. Michael Robert Broviak. Janet L. Cahill. Karen S. Cartwright. Kyle G. Cloutier. Julie Ann Collins. Rodney J. Dewberry. Terry L. Dickelman. Sherry Ann Isley. Suzanne K. Flolid. Vicki L. H. Follingsby. Wendy A. Geving. Gail Johanna Grogan. Cynthia Lynn Jansen Gustafson. Matthew F. Halley. Darren Patrick Helt. Timothy W. Humango. Colleen Marie Hoffman. Kathleen A. Holmberg. Rhonda Jagger Hippie. Gary S. Johnson. Alicia Call Nelson. Jody Ann Kirchner. Laura L. Clackwitter. Christine Mary Rogers Kozinski. Catherine Lauer Craig. Drew Kirsch. Monique J. Larson. Shelby Lawrence Hinchon. Janae Lucht. Charlotte McIntosh. Jonathan Molina. Susan R. Munson.
All right, Sue.
Judith I. Menschhuber. Deborah J. Peterson. Jeffrey Stephen Rodine. Diane K. Schmitz. Laura J. Scogan. Tracy Renee Sopnick. Barbara J. Suffalo Seska. Anita D. Schweers Olson. Catherine Laura Vaudrey. Brenda F. Watson. Paula A. Watts. Paul B. White, Jr. Lorna L. Wiskirchen. Say hi, Wodaijo. Nancy Jo Hempel Zenner. Bachelor of Arts. Emily Joan Ali. Beth Ann Alkier. Andrew Guy Allen. Louise Lunsgaard Anderson, cum laude. Amy L. Anderson, magna cum laude. Charlene K. Anderson, cum laude. Melanie S. Anderson, cum laude. Paula M. Anderson, cum laude. Wanda Wyke Andrews, summa cum laude. Jesse Lee Armbruster. Paula Ann Armstrong, cum laude. Todd E. Arsenault, summa cum laude. Carlene Sue Bailey, cum laude. Mary Kathleen Bailey, cum laude. Nina Bandel, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in Sociology, Honors Program. C. Desiree Barbado. Jessica Susanna Barker. Jean Frances Barrett, summa cum laude. Constance L. Bartlett. Deborah A. Batdorf. Robin Beach Olson, cum laude. Lori Lynn Beckman, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Religion and Honors Program. Michael Peter Benham. Tracy Lynn Benson, cum laude. Kristen Elizabeth Paulson Berg, cum laude. Yasmina Bashurovich, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in Sociology, Honors Program. Eric J. Betterman. Vianne Marie Butler. Melanie Joy Birkeland. Michael John Birkeland. Jan Kara Birken. Mark Andrew Bierland. Christian Blum, cum laude. Renee Ruth Blue, summa cum laude. Megan L. Beckman. Beth Mary Bonin, cum laude. Benjamin J. Bolton. Amy Marie Bauer, cum laude. Michelle D. Breen. Jacqueline Runke Brickman, summa cum laude. Leslie D. Breesacker. Mary Brooks. Wendy Marie Budzinski. Dana Sue Buffy, cum laude. Kathleen A. Burns, summa cum laude. Betsy Kristen Carlson, magna cum laude and honors program. Patricia Diane Ibsen Carlson. Tara Elizabeth Cesaretti, summa cum laude, Department Honors in Economics and Honors Program. Grace Kitsi Chan. Heather Jean Chapman. Shanta Yvette Chatham, cum laude. Ko Chen, cum laude. Daniel Grant Christensen. Stacy Ann Christofferson, cum laude. Paul Michael Sismill. Kimberly J. Clausen. Lori E. Mosier Clausen, magna cum laude. Corey Gary Clements. Brenda Castro Colwell. Amy Lynn Comero Reeves. Allison A. Corwin, cum laude and departmental honors in theater arts. Jennifer Coyle. Teresa Jo Crawford, cum laude. Kevin Michael Creerand. Katrina J. Cresswell, summa cum laude, Department Honors in Theater Arts and Honors Program. Aaron Jacob Cross. Jesse Delaska. Aaron Dalbanton. Victoria Ray Davis. Natalia Davidova, summa cum laude, honors program. Charlene Ann Demo. Robin M. Dirks. Chris Marie Dolan. Mona Jean Carlson Domas, summa cum laude. Lisa C. Dorweiler Russell, magna cum laude. Jennifer R. Drager. Jennifer Lynn Dunbar. Carrie Ann Dutcher, magna cum laude. Lars P. Deerrud, cum laude. Leah Margaret Deerrud. Rhonda Eastland. Daniel Lee Engerbretson Jr. Katrina Enger, magna cum laude. Donna Mae Falls Semlick, summa cum laude. Nicoletta Ferrerio, summa cum laude. Lynn Ann Fiorendino, cum laude. Michelle D. Fugate, magna cum laude, departmental honors, sociology. Samuel A. Garthune. Lene Kathleen Gayton. Darija Gubri Kirstos, magna cum laude. Lori Lynn Gierke. Lori Louise Geiser. Sarah Gilbert. Anna Jeanette Gilbertson. Jolene Alish Glaspie, cum laude. John Andrew Glavystrom, cum laude. Nancy L. Gleason. Timothy James Garrett, cum laude. Ryan Allen Getz. Charlotte Marie Granite, magna cum laude. Susan M. Green. Brent E. Griggs. Brent Allen Greer. Leslie J. Grilly, cum laude and departmental honors in religion. Stephen E. Grogan, cum laude. Carol J. Gross. Linda Marie Gruntner, magna cum laude. Amy Beth Gustafson. Susan A. Gutnick. Courtney Michelle Hagan, magna cum laude, departmental honors in communication. Dawn Hagland. Justin Hahn. Justin J. Hansen. Chad M. Hansen, cum laude. Sylvia L. Harper. Sarah Elizabeth Hauk, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in Religion. Stacy L. Hebden. Renee N. Hendrick. Ryan Michael Heidkamp. Geraldine Michelle Helmberger, summa cum laude. Melissa Ann Hentz. Christine Hessen. Suzanne M. Hill, cum laude. Tracy Michelle Holloway, cum laude. Mocha Marie Holmgren, summa cum laude. Catherine Lillian Holt, summa cum laude. Joseph Floyd Patrick Horan. Liddy Joy Howard, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in History Honors Program. David Howe, cum laude. Elsa May Howe. Rita M. Huber Grimscheid, cum laude. Jennifer Elizabeth Humberg Wendt. Joan Elizabeth Hutchinson, summa cum laude. Eric Trenton Iverson. Chad Henry Lee Jackson. June Marie Jackson, cum laude. Lisa Marie Jacobson. Michelle Louise Jarash. Michael David Jardy, cum laude. Belina Hermanas Lorenta, magna cum laude. Angela Anna Johansson. Carrie Elizabeth Johnson, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors Art Studio. Howard W. Johnson, Jr. Troy Kenneth Johnson. William D. Jones, magna cum laude. Michael David Jothan, cum laude. Elizabeth Judge, magna cum laude. Katie Kaltenbach. Jacob C. Carlstead, magna cum laude. Ryan William Kenley. Carol J. Kelly, magna cum laude. Kristen Ann Chemnitz, magna cum laude. Cammie Jo Kimball. Joshua H. Klimek. Jeannie Lynn Klober. Theodore P. Cobald. Sean Matthew Cordum. Connie Jean Kraus, summa cum laude. Deborah Lynn Kuglin, cum laude. Elizabeth Murphy Lambrecht. Wanda Dawson Lamprecht, cum laude. Douglas Todd Landy, summa cum laude. Lisa Ann Lang. Sarah M. Lang. Cynthia Jean Lannon, summa cum laude. Ostred Twinenbauer Ansa Kwarsi Larson. Joseph A. Lavin. Michael Leduc. Karen Elizabeth Lee, summa cum laude. Christopher P. Lee, cum laude. C. Sing Lee. Travis Michael Lee. Pamela Sue Leopold. Susan E. Lascarbo, cum laude. Daniel Christian Leandowski, cum laude. Rochelle E. J. Lewis. Nicole Ann Lindemeyer, summa cum laude. Aaron Charles Linden. Andrea Marie Lindstrom. Robin Mary Lisowski, summa cum laude, honors program. Catherine J. Littlefield, cum laude. Paula Louise Lockhart. Harry Lockram. Alexander Lotwashvili. Rachel R. Lundgren. Ko Lee. Louiana Phoebe Makundi. Camden Lee Malik. Linda R. Marcoux. Christopher Eric Marner. Michael J. Markshausen, cum laude. Callie Jo Masney. Hugh Chip Morey. Stacy L. Maxwell. Kelly D. Mayer, magna cum laude. Teresa Ann McCahey, cum laude. Mark R. McDaniels. Jeff Michael McLaughlin. Anne Elizabeth McQuinn, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors, Theater Program, Honors Program. Christine D. Meyer. Lavon Menagarish Vila. Zoe Baknata Meyer, summa cum laude. Catherine Micah. Arlo John Miller, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in Biology, Honors Program. Paul R. Miller, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in History. Sarah Marie Miller, cum laude, Honors Program. Christian Andrew Millington. Cindy Lynn Mitchell, cum laude. John David Moore. William Nagel, summa cum laude. Leah Chantel Nelson, magna cum laude, Honors Program. Melissa Ann Nelson, cum laude. Terry Lee Neneman, cum laude. Nicole Amber Nerson, cum laude. Niels Peter Navy. Hal Nicholas, magna cum laude. Sarah Suk Kil Nemec. Gregory John Noon. Leonid Novikov. Tricia Marie Owen. Linda Marie Oliva, summa cum laude. Loretta Pendleton Oliver. Bryce Friedrich Olson, summa cum laude. Nancy A. Olson, cum laude. Rebecca Ruth Ormsby, summa cum laude, Honors Program. Erica Lee Ostreim. Jessica L. Ott. Kevin Michael Palmer. Elizabeth A. Posh, cum laude. Vicki Lynn Paulson, cum laude. Tamara L. Peterson, cum laude. Paul Richard Petrasek. Tang Q. Foam. Mi Han Fon. Jennifer K. Polis. Mary E. Price, cum laude. Mary A. Probst, cum laude. Jackie Pruitt. John Polkerbeck, magna cum laude. Eric Martin Robbie. Stefan Randolph. B.S. Sudarshan Rayo. Angela Barbara Rath. Melissa Elaine Radetsky, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors, Psychology. Lars Christian Ringsby. Jennifer R. Ringesen. Eric Rowland. Kent Brian Roth. Paul Andrew Roth. Kyle Anthony Runk. Janet K. Running. Patrice Marie Russell. Jane Marie Ruth, magna cum laude. Michael A. Salazar. Bernice Arias Sather, cum laude. Elaine Marion Sharpen, summa cum laude. Deborah L. Schallender. Jill Marie Schneider. Gregory Allen Shore, cum laude. Connie H. Schrant, summa cum laude. Laura Ann Schreifels. Rebecca Lynn Schumann. Heather L. Schweiger. Susan Ann Scott, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Communication Honors Program. Sarah Elizabeth Shea. Mariah Dawn Schreiber. Kevin Michael Schutz, cum laude and Departmental Honors in English. Michael Sela. Ki T. Singban. Cheryl Sin. Jennifer Lynn Skyam. Kimberly R. Scoba, summa cum laude. Heather Marie Slindy. Andrew Robert Small, magna cum laude. Carol Solend. Rebecca J. Sorensen, magna cum laude. Nicole Lee Sovereign. Kathleen J. Souls, cum laude. Nicole Denise Spurl. Michelle F. Sprunk. Lena Stackhouse Rogers. Christopher Gary Stebnitz. Susan P. Stein. Nancy Jo Stensrud, cum laude. Janet D. Stiegelmeyer. Mary Elizabeth Stimpson, cum laude. Joel Stockbridge. Travis D. Stotler, summa cum laude. Lawrence J. Stratton. Kathy Ann Svickel. John S. Tatley. Ryan A. Tyson. Susan Marie Thompson, magna cum laude. Terrence M. Thorelson. Patrick James Toole. Bridget Ann Tisdale. Macy Eve Top. Mashan Marie True. Bonnie Po Mai Singh. Rebecca J. Turner, magna cum laude. Christine M. Ewell, magna cum laude. Pamela Langenfeld Uphus, magna cum laude. Keith Charles Vandershagen. Jill Marie Vandrasic. Lori Jean Van Hoof. Dua Vang. Reginald Hua Vang. Corey James Biam. Tia K. Bow. Scott William Volkert. Christine Darcy Wagner. Michelle L. Wagman, cum laude. Jody Lynn Wagner, cum laude. Mary E. Waltz, summa cum laude. Sholi Wong. Jason Barrows Warren. Jennifer Carlson Weiberg, cum laude. Max Jürgen Weiss. Robert John Weissenberger. Andrew K. White. Denise K. Widholm, magna cum laude. Scott D. Williams. Amy Suzanne Wilson, summa cum laude honors program. Cheryl Ann Wilson. Krista Jo Winkleman. Janelle K. Wong. Stacy L. Wangsmos, summa cum laude. Alfonso Wright. Stephanie L. Wright, cum laude. Susan Marie Wygant, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in Mathematics. Sarin Yangsum. Mark Allen Young. Yuk Tan Young. Catherine M. Satola, cum laude. And now Bachelors of Music, Samuel Thomas Bergstrom, cum laude, Departmental Honors in Music Education. Jason Aaron Canfield. Sherry Marie Lutkers, cum laude. Dylan B. Now, cum laude, Departmental Honors in Music Performance. Melissa Joanne Wieland, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors Music Performance Honors Program. And Bachelors of Science, Charles Eugene Adamich. Angela Emily Aikenson. Keith Bernard Allen. Carol J. Armbruster. Deborah Ann Axmacher, cum laude. Julie A. Baker, cum laude. Dawn Marie Bastian. Linda Marie Carlson. Mary K. Carlson, magna cum laude. Lee H. Shabby, cum laude. L. Marine Cronin. Erin Bridget Frobenius, magna cum laude. Pamela Semple Gerber, summa cum laude. Stefan Henrik Breiska, cum laude. Elizabeth J. Guthrie, magna cum laude. Kenneth J. Hagan. Joe Lynn Hansen, magna cum laude. Rolf W. Hansen, cum laude. Johnny Herda Brown, magna cum laude. Carolyn Patrice Higginbottom Holmes, cum laude. Sherry Antoinette Hickson. Katina Maria Johnson, magna cum laude. Kimberly Marie Johnson. Gregory P. Karp, magna cum laude. Jill Marie Kieser, cum laude. Carrie Kathleen Kostuk, magna cum laude. Catherine Ann Larson, cum laude. Emily Starr Lowenstein. Judy Marie McIver, cum laude. Stacy Lee McVeigh, magna cum laude. Cynthia K. Seidel Mugley, cum laude. Dawn A. Netka. Martha Hallowell Nikoloff. Sandra Lynette Norris, magna cum laude. Leandra A. O'Keefe. Jennifer Lee Olson, summa cum laude. Mina Ossie, cum laude. Linda Mae Paulson, cum laude. Sandra Jean Reich. Kimberly Ann Schmidt, cum laude, honors program. Evelyn Marie Schonecker. Rachel E. Cerna, summa cum laude. Kevin J. Spaeth. Becca E. Studaker. Napasuk Leah Teprasuvan. Owen T.H. Tron, magna cum laude. Tanya R. Tukshur. Twa Vu, cum laude. Anne Lene Wagstrom. Tona Willand, summa cum laude. Margaret May Zook. Congratulations to all the 1997 graduates.
I've heard more noise than that at a wake. It was a rather rowdy wake, but one more time, parents and everybody else, applaud these people. At this time, we have a special award to be made. It's been given, I think, about 6 or 7 years. It's in honor of really a member of the family through the Christensen family, who was a lawyer and working first in D.C., I think, and then in Chicago for disadvantaged people. She was mugged on the streets for a total of about $1.50 and died. And the family has established this Marina Christian Justice Award, and it says it's designated for someone who represents to a high degree Augsburg's motto of education for service. The student must have demonstrated a dedication to the kind of community involvement characterized by the personal and professional life of Marina Christian Justice, who courageously and effectively reached out to bring equity and harmony, living Christian values to disadvantaged people and communities. A person who was nominated over and over again this year by the faculty and staff who make up the selection committee is Betsy Carlson. I'd like to have her come up at this time. Hey, nice to see you. You just stand here while I read all the good things you'd like to say. One moment. I've told the faculty on occasion, if I don't wipe my eyes, I can't see my notes. And if I can't see my notes, I tend, as an old professor, to talk in 50-minute blocks of time. So a brief pause is to your advantage. Betsy represents the best blend of excellence in scholarship and untiring commitment to the community. A double major in English and math, and an honors student as well, Betsy has been crucial in the work of Augsburg's student-run community service program, The Link, ever since she arrived 4 years ago, serving as a leader in the organization for the past 2 years. Her community involvements include organizing student participation in St. Martin's Table Wednesday night out program for single parents in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood, organizing the Halloween Safe Block and Christmas dinner for neighborhood families that take place on campus here, organizing Link-sponsored fall and spring cleanups each year, and initiating a community service spring break trip, which has become an annual student trip. Betsy worked as a research intern with Marcy Holmes' Neighborhood Revitalization Program and the Northeast Business Association last summer. This fall, she will continue doing community service full-time through the Lutheran Volunteer Corps in either Chicago or Seattle. Through Betsy, Augsburg's motto and ideals that Marina Christensen Justice stood for live on. And I'm pleased to give you this plaque, and I think there's another gift inside. You don't have to want to say something, you don't have to. I usually make remarks at this time. There are usually announcements. Please don't forget the reception that's taking place. Hopefully, if it's not raining, it'll be in Murphy Square. Secondly, I would like to thank you for coming and making this event possible. It was not my intention that I somehow assume some sort of focus here, because the people we're honoring are the ones who have been doing all the work out there. And you will discover, just a footnote on what you've heard about me, that most of the good things you can do in life are never done by yourself. I mean, you always have other people, and I could go down and list the people who started all these programs to which reference has been made. They weren't me. I mean, I could say yes or no, but that was, you can just store that away. The graduates I thank for these years, and you have, and this is a traditional speech, 2 more things to do, 2 more tasks in addition to finding a job or finishing your work here. First is find someone to take your place at Augsburg. We know that most of the weekend college people in some years come by word of mouth. People just enjoy what they're doing and learn a lot, and they find it it's reasonable to tell someone else about it. Now, we have in our midst here about 530 informal admissions reps. Now, not all of you feel that highly about the school to want to do that, but many of you do. And I'd like to have you consider that you find someone to take your place. Every graduate in the programs are special, and I like to inquire at different offices to learn something about the class. And here are a few bits that are interesting to me. The youngest grads are 20. The oldest grad is 58. If you count the honorary member of your class, it's 67, which throws the figures off a bit if you're looking for an average. Now, I will be noted as the slowest learner to get through Augsburg. It took 21 years, but I'm still very grateful to be honored to be a member of this class. We have some families that are involved in graduation. On the one hand, Charlene Anderson is a graduate of the weekend college, and her son, Keith Vandershager, is a graduate of the day school. We have another family, which is interesting. At the wrestling banquet this year, I sat with David Wygant, who graduated in '77. And he told me his wife, Susan, is graduating 20 years later in this class, 97. Another bit, we have 28 international students, 19 of them international, and 9 are resident aliens. They come from 18 different countries. I won't read them all, but it is of note, and I'm very pleased, the first graduate from Tibet is in this class. And will she stand up? She's somewhere around here. I hope she came today. Where is she? Thank you. Back there. We have 10% minority students, and that's also a great pleasure for me. We do better than most schools in this, but we're not where we ought to be yet, and we are working on that. This year's graduating class will have 28 members from the CLASS program, the Center for Learning and Adaptive Student Services. There are 8 students with physical disabilities graduating. Of the 8, 4 are graduating with honors. There are 20 students with learning disabilities graduating. 2 are graduating with honors, magna cum laude and cum laude. 1 other LD student is graduating from the PA program, and another will be receiving a double major. And these are all helpful things as far as I'm concerned. I enjoy reading them and reflecting on them later on. Now, the first thing was you're supposed to find someone to take your place, right? The second thing you really should do is find somebody to thank. That's really important. You didn't get here by yourself, no matter how you feel. So you find someone to thank. I often refer to a bumper sticker I really love. I've seen it occasionally on the highways. It's not as prominent right now. But it says, if you can read this, thank a teacher, which is fairly profound. If you can read this, thank a teacher. And as a member of the class now, I join with all of you with thanking parents and friends. Some are from only a few blocks away in the Phillips neighborhood. Some are from across continents and oceans. I have heard of parents and friends from Russia, Bulgaria, Ethiopia, Bosnia, and so forth who are here. And the list is incomplete. Will they and other friends from overseas please stand? I suppose you're all out here someplace. Are there? There are? No, there are some. Thank you. There's one. I think we all in the middle aisles here owe a debt of gratitude to the faculty. And some years ago, some faculty member commented to me to the effect that it must be nice to be a president and you do things and you're remembered and so forth. And I suggested to him, and he's here today, that he should think back about how many schools he's attended and how many presidents he either knew or cared for. I mean, I've been to a lot of schools and I know the names of most of those people, but in many instances they are nothing. The people you will remember are seated on both flanks here. It's the personal continuing contact that you have, and you will in years ahead rise up, as you say, to bless the faculty. We recognize one retirement. There may be more, but this is the one I've heard of. Some of you have been influenced by Jerry Geronimo significantly, and Jerry has retired. We thank the staff who support this venture. We thank the regents who guide our paths. Their representatives are here. And of course, given the library going up and all the other things we need, we thank the donors who help us on our way. And we thank all of you. And in our closing hymn, we are reminded of the source of every good and also give thanks to God. Please rise.
As Tara Suss already mentioned, President Anderson has been here 21 years. 21 years usually means something. That means that you have certain privileges. And President Anderson's privilege is now to move on to a change of career. And hopefully that means less stress and good health for him. And we are at this time going to wish him well. And now may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Amen.